Hey guys, it's long time no chat. So lots happened since we last spoke, and the world is basically in a mayhem, and people are being forced to homeschool. So that's interesting. Now, I know a lot of you are really stressed out about this, and rightly so. I get it. I've been there. I haven't been forced into it, but I remember the feeling of when we first started of just not knowing what to do. And I kind of relied on videos and people chatting about things and Facebook groups and all of that sort of stuff to get all of my information, because there's not a whole lot of support out there for homeschooling. So I thought that I would give you my 5 cents, not that you've asked for it, but you know, on the whole concept of the idea and kind of tips that I think might help you. Some of the things I wish I knew before I started homeschooling. And just remember, we're all in this together. There's no need to ridicule other people's way of doing things, and everyone's different, and that's totally fine. There are so many different ways you can homeschool. You can homeschool, unschool, world school, travel school, game school. Look, list is endless, and I'm not going to bore you with all of the details, because if you're interested in any of those, it's as simple as jumping online and Googling the term. There's lots of resources online as well, so I'm not really going to go like actual physical things like books and so forth, because I'm sure a lot of you have been given your information packets and things like that from your schools. So with all of that being said, here are my 5 tips for homeschooling in the midst of the coronavirus. Tip number 1 is to assess the need. Is there even a need for your kid to be doing formal schooling right now? Have your teachers sent home packets of information, and are they required, or is it just more of a here's some stuff to keep your kid busy for the next couple of months? Is your child under the age of 6? If so, there's no need for formal schooling right now. Get outside in your backyard, get messy, play with sensory things. There are lots and lots and lots of small businesses selling things for cheaper at the moment, so get your hands on those. Puzzles, scissor skills, all of those sorts of things are really important and fun. So pass your time with doing fun things, and they will learn organically. It's also really important to assess the mental health situation of our children. I understand that I have primary school age kids. High school is a little bit different. I am not educated in that subject at all, and I do not profess to have any information on that at all. I know that times are really tough at the moment, and I know that our kids are on social media and they need a little bit more support right now. Things are changing for them, and we need to be there for each other more than anything at this time. Tip number 2 is to be flexible. Flexibility is key here. I mean, everything is changing from week to week as we know it anyway. I mean, daily at the moment in Australia. I'm in Western Australia, and things are starting to heat up a bit. You need to be taking this easy. There's no need to be sitting down and doing 3 hours of schoolwork a day. Really listen to your kids and what they really need right now. Listen to yourself. What's your body telling you? You need to really take time to process all of this information before you can be your child's educator. The expectation of having your child sit down and do bookwork right now is probably a little far-fetched. If you are the kind of person that thrives on routine, or your child is, then go for it and do it. Do what makes you feel comfortable and you feel in control of things. It's such a scary time at the moment, and I don't want to sit here and tell you to relax, take it easy, because it's just not gonna happen. And I get it. Do what works for you. Don't see the routine that Mary's posted on Facebook and be like, well, I'm not doing enough because I'm not doing what she's doing. That's simply not true. You know your kids, you know what works for your family, so do that. My tip number 3 is life skills are so important. Maths is important, English is important, all of those things are important, but so are life skills. Take this opportunity to teach your kids how to use the washing machine, use the dishwasher, make something with wood, start a fire from scratch, all of those kind of life skills that you maybe would miss over if you didn't have this time. Meditation is also really important. Mental health skills, coping skills, all of those sorts of things. Make them a part of your routine now. So when life becomes less crazy, we have those skills in place. Cook from scratch, things like that. Those sorts of things are going to be so valuable to our children, and we have such an awesome amount of time right now. Take a positive out of such a crappy negative situation and really hone in on those skills, and you won't regret that. That's family time and education. Number 4 is take the opportunity to learn new things together. Do you have skills that you can teach your children? Do you have hobbies that you want to do with your kids? It could be anything like sewing, crafting, journaling, and I think journaling at the moment is really important for our kids. It's great to get them writing and reading, and also for them to acknowledge their feelings towards everything at the moment, and getting things down on paper is brain dumping is just such a valuable tool, and I really think that our kids could get a lot out of that. Number 5 is reassess your situation all of the time. I mean, the government is reassessing our situation daily, and I know taking in those things at the moment is quite draining, and what's working for you in your homeschool at the moment probably won't work for you in a couple of days because things are going to change. Reassess all the time, and just know that that's okay to change up your routine and change up the way you're doing things all of the time. We do that here all the time. It's okay to take a Netflix day. If that's what's needed, then do it. You know your family, you know what's working for you guys. Just do what works for you, and don't worry about Bloody Mary on Facebook and her routines. Going with the flow is so important, and mental health is just so important. At the moment, we all need to lean on each other and actually support each other instead of, judging each other on Facebook. So that's my 5 tips, but also think about seeing what your library is holding online. I know that we don't personally support zoos, but I know that they were doing virtual tours, I think, online. I'm not sure if they're doing it anymore, but they were doing that. There's lots of resources online. There's a guy on YouTube doing fitness videos. There's lots of tutoring for your high school children online as well. Also, take the time to make sure that you are checking in with your family and friends, journaling, as I said, meditating, getting time for you. Board games, books, all of those sorts of things are just going to be so valuable to you right now. Focus on family time. Learning can come later. As long as nothing's been set in stone by your school, I'm sure that you're capable of figuring all of that out on your own. A little bonus tip actually that I learned from Angela Braniff, who is This Gathered Nest on YouTube. She actually records things that she's doing instead of setting out a schedule. So that's what I do now. I think it's called reverse scheduling, I'm not sure. Basically at the end of the day, or during the day in small periods, I'll go and check my diary and I'll write down what we've done, and then at the end of the day I'll have a look at what we've actually covered off the curriculum, instead of setting myself this whole big to-do list, because it's just so daunting, and things like that don't work for me. If it works for you, cool, but it just does not work for me. I see it more as a chore, and I don't want to do it, and I don't know, maybe the inner child in me is like, I'm not doing what I have to do, so. So thank you for listening. I'm sorry this is probably pretty long-winded. I've been thinking about doing this video for a couple of days, and I've recorded it 3 or 4 times, and I don't know, I don't want to come off insensitive. I know that everyone's having a really hard time, so I don't want to be like, don't worry about your schedule, because it's just not realistic. I get it. It's really hard at the moment. I'm pretty lucky because my life hasn't really changed all that much, because we obviously homeschool and I don't work. My husband's still at work at the moment, and it doesn't look like that's going to change for a long time. So I feel very privileged sitting here talking to you about that, but just know you're all in my heart, and I understand that it's really hard for you guys right now, and if I can help with anything, please message me. I'm an open book, and my DMs are always open, my inbox is always open. Message me. I want to talk. I want to know what you're struggling with. I want to know what you're excited to do each day, and I want to keep lines of communication open. Let's just do this together and get through it, and then hopefully it won't be the longest time ever. So thanks again for watching our video. Subscribe if you want. like it if you want. I'm not sure if I'll be doing any more homeschool videos, but if you're interested, comment, send me a message, and I can cover certain topics that you're wanting to know. We can go into more into depth of what we actually do on a day-to-day basis if that's more helpful. Just know that you have my support, and I'm thinking of you all. So see you guys, and hopefully I'll see you in the next one.